so part of making this bike my own is to establish a baseline. I like to take a quick look at, bolt in general, checking, the axle knots and that type of thing. And when I rode the bike for the first time, the brakes kind of felt a little bit like spongy. This is a, kind of run-of-the-mill Brembo master cylinder, I think, with, Brembo whatever calipers. So bike is pretty light, so it doesn't require a lot of like bite, but it feels spongy. The brake fluid might be bad, might be old. Judging by the one in the rear, it's a little bit kind of darkish, so I'm just gonna just bleed it, just ensuring that it's pretty fresh, and yeah, just go from there. All right, so I'm always like to have a pair of gloves, and also just to put something around the area I'm going to be working on in case I have an accidental spill. I'm not going to be damaging. I have a way to contain it, and the fluid is just not going to fall on the frame or any other area where it can damage the paint. I haven't checked them. I honestly don't know what I'm going to find. Another suggestion is it's to practice. It sounds a little bit dumb what I'm going to say, but you'll see the value of it. You're going to be putting the cap with the diaphragm, just so you're not like improvising, because fluid can come off, and then you don't want any of this fluid on any areas, painted areas. Okay, I want to be careful. There you go. Okay, so cap is out, and now let's pull this very carefully. It's pretty sticky. Okay. The reservoir is black, so it's kind of hard to see how dirty it is. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to dip this in here to see how it comes out. I mean, it's fairly clean, I'll say. Okay, so this process does not have to be complex. I have my trusty bottle, which comes with a magnet in the back that you can supposedly just put in here while you are bleeding your cables, your brakes. Essentially, based on the position of your master cylinder, go to the point farthest possible from the master. In this case, the brake on the left side, or the caliper on the left side, is the farthest away from the reservoir. So we're just going to start with the brake caliper on the left, and then we're just going to go on the brake caliper on the rear. But we're going to be starting by removing everything in here, so we're not putting all that dirty brake fluid through the system. So I'm just going to remove all of that, put it with new one, and start pumping the brakes, and you'll see it as soon as I start the process. I normally remove the fluid with a syringe. I do not have one right now with me, so I'm just going to dry it out by absorbing with a paper towel. I'm pretty sure people are right now thinking, oh my god, this is crazy. It's not that big of a deal. Take it easy, man. Just don't put your pennies in it. Take it easy, internet. Same thing as before. Be ready to have a plan as to where you're going to position this. I'm not super concerned because at the bottom I have the t-shirt, and I'm just gonna go straight to my bag, and now I'm just gonna get the rest. The first that was just a single paper towel folded in half, or actually I ripped it in two parts, and this is the second part, so that was enough for me to get everything. This is supposed not to have lint, so it should not be leaving any residue behind. So I'm going to, now that it's empty, I'm just going to take advantage of that and clean the bottom, and let's see how it comes out. It's actually pretty clean. It's not bad. Of course, it's very, very important that you do not activate or press your lever right now, because if you do, you're going to be introducing air to the system, which is Not super crazy, it doesn't matter, because anyway you're going to remove bubbles when you are bleeding, but it will be better if you don't introduce any. I'm going to add DOT4. There you go. Always close the bottle. And now let's start the process. All right, so there's a few things that I want to talk about and few hints that I want to give you that I have picked up from other mechanics in the past. So first of all, the rag was the first one. The second one is some sort of like degreaser or something like that. Sometimes I go to the extent of like either like putting some degreaser like on the area that I'm working, just in case some falls, like some liquid end up like by accident falling on any painted area. I'm ready to, there's already like soaked in some other solvent, and it will make it very easy for me to remove without really having the brake fluid kind of like sitting on a painted area. That's one. Second, in addition to having the rag, I always like to put a rag like through here, just in case there's any drops or anything. I have a second safety, just to kind of grab any additional like drops that you can see. Thirdly, when you are pressing on the lever, which we're gonna do in a second, don't do it like super fast, because if you do it like that, there's no cap in it right now, so fluid is just gonna come out flying and it's gonna go everywhere, and it can go straight to your tank, can go to the front. It depends on how the reservoir is leaning. So you want to be very careful with doing something like that. So I already did it on the left side because it was kind of a little bit difficult for me to record. So I'm going to repeat the process that I just did on the other side. But keep in mind, you're always starting from the farthest away from the reservoir, which is in this case going to be the left side. And then we're going to move to this one. This is going to be the last caliper we're going to do. And once we're done, we're done. So the process that I'm doing right here is the same process you're going to do on the other side. Since I already did it on the left side, I already went through some liquid or fluid. So I'm just gonna top it off again. That's more than I'm going to be putting at the end, but I know I'm gonna go through some. Okay, so now we're gonna come here to the bottom, and with a number 8, first of all, I'm glad to see that there's a cap in here, because you always want to keep it secure and safe outside of access to debris or whatnot. So this cap, it's a little bit hard. So okay, with the help of my wrench I was able to get it out. And now be careful, there's the nipple that you're going to be putting the hose to, and then there's another kind of hexagonal nut that is the one that's holding the pressure on the line. So make sure you're not going to be undoing that one. You're only going to be doing this one. And normally it's an 8, but it's going to be smaller than the normal kind of nut that's kind of holding the pressure on the lines. So I'm going to position this here on the hexagonal, on the bleeder. Ooh. And now I'm going to be bringing this over here, and I'm just gonna put it on top. Sorry if I'm blocking your view, hopefully not. This you want to be pretty tight, okay? So it's in there. I'm gonna put in here. So now I'm just gonna put it all, keep it together, and we're ready. So now I wanna show you the process. So essentially, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to press on the lever slowly. 1, 2, 3. I have some fluid actually came out. 4. It's almost like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, that was huge. And I know it fell on my, let me, you see, I just had an accident. I'm ready with my degreaser, and I can just clean it up and make sure that there's no, I'm not gonna leaving that like that. All right, so I'm applying pressure, and I'm going to take the number 8, and I'm going to open it up. This is of course easy with 2 people. And I'm going to be losing the pressure on my brake, and now I can go all the way. With my brake against my accelerator, right? Like that. Don't let it go. I'm going to close the valve. Okay, so now it's closed and I'm going to release it. And some fluid actually went in through the lines and it's been kind of coming through here. So now we're going to be repeating the process again. I'm still going to be careful with not going crazy on like the pressure, because you're gonna see the fluid coming out of the reservoir. So 1, 2, oh, it didn't happen. 3, 4, 5, 6, again happened. 7, 8, again, Jesus. 9, 10. So now again, I'm going to repeat the process one more time. I'm going to open the valve. Have to give it maybe another half turn for it to come out. Oops, it went again. Now I'm closing the valve with my lever still pressed, and now I'm going to release it, and now fluid is entering again. This is the good time for you to inspect what's happening. I was not able to record it on the other side, and of course you're not able to tell because you're not the one holding the brake right now, but I can already feel how firm it feels versus how it was before. So maybe the brake fluid was old and maybe not really, maybe had a lot of like water inside or moisture inside. So, or maybe they had bubbles, because I saw a few bubbles coming out of the other side. So there's always a chance that there was air in the system, so which is preventing you from having that firm grip, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to be repeating the process again. The right process to do is now come here to the reservoir and check where's the level to see if you need to refill it again or not. So now I'm going to bring the camera closer. At this point, that's plenty or brake fluid right now. So, but I want to keep it in here because I'm going to be pressing the brake, and I want you to see what happens with the pressure as I press, you know, my lever. Pay attention to here. So 1, you can see the movement. 2, you see it's wanting to come out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of that is brand new fluid. So 2 more times, it's already kind of going through all the lines. It doesn't take much to kind of fill these lines. So I'm just gonna go through it. I'm just gonna double check the level again, putting the diaphragm back, and we're done. And we're going to be moving back to the rear. I'm still good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the line, and I'm gonna position my paper towel like this so I can take all the excess, and I'm going to be doing this to ensure that it's not gonna be getting on the floor. It's not gonna be getting on the floor or anything like that. So I'm actually pretty happy that I did it. I'm going to take a look at the diaphragm, and I'm going to use the same Q-tip I was using before and maybe cleaning here. This is the reason why you don't want this diaphragm to be, I mean the fluid to be too much, because you have to put this inside. As you can tell, there's a lot of like material in here, so this is gonna take some volume. So I'm just gonna position like so. I know that it's not going to come out because the level, it was just, you know, bang on. So now I'm going to put the cap with the right orientation. I'm gonna bring my 2 bolts in here. Keep in mind your glove may be soaked in brake fluid, so you don't forget to clean your hands or your glove before you're touching your bike or other stuff, your people, your face, your eyes, your kids, that stuff. So just keep that in mind. Perfect. This is good. I like to always go back with a little bit of degreaser. This is, please, this is glass cleaner bottle, but it's actual degreaser that I haven't mixed. And then just sometimes, you know, you may have drops at the bottom that you didn't see, so just gonna clean this up just in case. And I'm going to double check my brakes. Feel pretty good. Good pressure. I'm looking here and I don't have any leaks. It looks pretty nice. And that's another thing that I like to do. I like to close. There's always, you know, inevitable to have some drops from when you were removing. So I like to kind of do this and ensure that I don't see any action of you know, bubbles or anything kind of coming through. Yep, feels pretty good. Come on in now. As a safety measure, I'm just gonna go and twist it a little bit more. It's good. Feels good. Now closed, and we're done. The process in the rear is the same, very similar. You're going to be opening your reservoir. It also has a diaphragm very similar to the one you have in the front. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put it in the cap just like I did in the front. I'm going to be putting a paper towel on right underneath it, and I'm going to follow the same example as I did before. So if you don't like it, maybe this is a good time for you to look away and say, oh my God, Richard, he doesn't know what he's doing. My God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, and I'm going to flip it. Got everything. Remember the bag, going to the bag. Oh, this one looks kind of dirty. This is a good opportunity for cleaning. You see all that like yellow residue that is not supposed to be there, so all right, so the process is the same, but it now requires you to work on your rear caliper. I'm going to be removing the cap. This one doesn't have a holder, so I have to make sure that I'm not gonna lose it. So we're bringing back the bottle. Let me put a paper towel in here so it doesn't fall on the swing arm. And now let me put the line on the nipple. I left the magnet behind. Okay, so now I already have the cap open. I already cleaned it, which it looks already, you know, pretty nice. So now I'm going to do the same process, but instead of just doing the one in the front, I'm just going to be doing this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 holding. And this one is not a number 8, it's actually an 11 millimeter. Okay, fluid came out, the brake lever dropped, keeping pressure, closing valve, releasing. Now you can see the fluid actually dropped. This one is not super dirty, but you can tell that it's thicker. So it was due. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same thing. Open again. Yeah, you can tell it's dirty. And now you're going to look at the fluid. Boom, dropped. Perfect. Now let's do it again. Releasing. Perfect. Okay. Clean, and it's cleaning here. So I think this is enough. I think I have enough where I can now put I'm actually gonna do the same thing I did before. Gonna clean it up just to see if there's any debris or anything in here that is not supposed to be there. There was a little bit dirty, but not a whole lot. I have the cover on, and I'm going to close it now. It looks clean, awesome. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to cover this, pull the line, dry it out, and then ensure that the liquid is just gonna fall in here. See, now that you have it in the bottle, you can tell that you definitely had some dirty fluid that it was due changing. So maybe it didn't seem like it was that dirty, but that means that it was probably old, and brake fluid can hold water in time, and then it loses the capacity of the ability to withstand heat and whatnot. I'm gonna ensure that valve is closed, clean it, and make sure that's dry. Press the brake to ensure that I don't see any leaks. Looks good. Now I'm going to put the cap. Perfect. Dry it out, and we are good to go. In case you were not familiar, the clutch on a Ducati Monster 696 is a hydraulic clutch, so it's not pulled by a cable. So that's why you have a line very similar to the lines that you use on your brakes, and you have a master cylinder at the top on the left side of your handlebar, and then you have a nipple and a valve and a line just like we do on the brakes, which means same process. In this particular bike, you can use DOT 3 fluid all the way up to 5. I'm using 4, so you can use either or, and it will be the same for the operation of the clutch as well as the operation of the brakes. So same process. Pull the cap, open the cap on the reservoir, check the liquid, remove if dirty, put new one, and then do the clutch lever just as we did on the brakes, and then you should be good to go and follow the same process. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna go detail by detail because you saw it already a couple times, but if you are curious on how to do it, I'm just gonna show it to you right now. Okay, I'm going to bring a brand new paper towel, and actually I'm just gonna use the cables to kind of hold it in here. To be careful, open the cap. It's open now. Be careful because if this has been here for a while, you can rip the diaphragm, and this one seems like it's been here for a while. You can tell how this diaphragm is different than the brake one. You see the shape? Okay. I'm going to be careful because I forgot to do this, and what that's doing is helping me to have the reservoir at a better angle. Yeah, you can tell this fluid it's like yellowish, like the brand new one is like yellowish, but you can see through a lot, and this one it's coming out like yellow. And now, oops, now I got to the bottom. You can tell this is coming out pretty dirty. Okay, if you're yelling at your monitor because I'm doing this, chill out, man. Life is not that complicated. But check this out. This is what's at the bottom of the reservoir, and I'm going to bring something more juicy now. Tell me if this is worse than me just using a Q-tip. This was inside, so okay, let's just clean every corner. Look. You can tell that the liquid is always leaning to this side because you normally just lock the bike to the left. So because of that's probably why all the residue it's on this side. Now one more time, I'm going to use the same using before. Clean this reservoir. Clean the edges. Times. I don't want to mess up the nipple, but these caps are like really strong. Okay. Put the hose in the nipple. So I just pressed 10 times. I'm going to just like I did before. Put something in here so that it's covered and it picks up anything. So pressing one more time on the clutch. Oops, that's dirty. Look at that, horrible. All right, releasing the clutch and starting over again. 1, 2, slowly. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, did it again. Ooh, horrible. And I wanted to give you a visual of how it looks so you can compare against the brakes. Same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to open the valve. Oops. There's still debris coming out of the line, so I'm gonna do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's cleaner. Closing, you can see how dirty it was. So super glad that I did it. Same thing here. I'm just cleaning and I'm going to ensure that it's completely closed. You have to over tighten because you can break it. That's replacing a nipple is easy, but it's not something you want to do if you don't have to. So I'm going to refill the reservoir because this time I actually went through the entire thing just to ensure that I was removing all of that debris. Okay, gotta be careful because I need to put the diaphragm back. So we're gonna do this right now. Cap, 2 bolts. I'm still keeping everything in here to ensure that if I have any drops coming out, they're not gonna fall in the paint. We have established before. I had a few accidents kind of pressing the lever too hard and then having the pressure kind of, since I can potentially have liquid kind of coming down, I'm gonna put this in here so I can get rid of any excess, and I'm just going to clean it up. Okay. Rechecked, no leaks. Now let me operate the clutch. No leaks here, nothing underneath it besides. Okay, looks pretty normal. Let's put the cap, and now let's take the bike for a ride. I hope that you had enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.